Good evening, everyone. Legislative Day 14 will now come to order. I would ask everyone to please pause for a moment of silent meditation and keep those families in your thoughts and prayers of the Minneapolis school shooting last week. These things tend to just continue to happen, and it's a horrible thing. And hopefully we can find a solution. Okay, and Councilman Jones, can you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Yes, sir. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. All right. Is there a motion to approve the journal for the meeting of August 4th, 2025?
So moved.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, the journal is approved. There are no bills for enrollment this evening. Mr. Secretary, will you now read all bills for introduction?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. We have a number of bills for intro tonight. The first is Bill 5625, Current Expense Budget, Maryland Opioid Restitution Funding, FY 2026. Bill 57-25, Current Expense Budget, Cold Case Testing Private Grant. Bill 5825, Current Expense Budget, AIDS Case Management. And then we have a number of bills sponsored by council members for introduction tonight. Bill 5925 is sponsored by Councilman Patoka, Zoning Regulations, Exceptions to Residential Transition Areas. Bill 60-25 is sponsored by Councilman Jones, Zoning Regulations, Uses Permitted in the RO or Residential Office Zones. Bill 6125, also sponsored by Councilman Jones, Revitalization Property Tax Credit. Bill 62-25, sponsored by Councilman Catch, Zoning Regulations, Hookah and Vapor Lounges, On-Site Security Personnel. Bill 63-25, sponsored by Councilman Catch, Zoning Regulations, CCC Overlay Districts, Restrictions on First-Story Apartments. Bill 6425, sponsored by Councilman Marks, Metropolitan District Wastewater User Charges. Bill 65-25, also sponsored by Councilman Marks, Historical and Architectural Preservation Appeals. And Bill 66-25, sponsored by Councilman Marks, Landmarks Preservation Commission Meetings and Hearings. The last two that I read, Mr. Chairman and members of the council, may sound like you've heard it before because you have. Bills 46 and 47 are those two bills. 65 and 66 respectively. Mr. Marks withdrew the two that are already in lieu of reintroducing them under bill number 65 and 66.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Secretary.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and I think we have a couple reappointments.
Yes.
And unless there's any new testimony, unless the appointees, if you will, wanted to say anything, I think we'll just move with the first one, which is Cynthia Dryban, and she's a reappointment. Are there any questions or comments from the members on Mrs. Dryban? Is she here tonight? Or?
She is online, Mr. Chairman. Ms. Dryban, I think, was not able to make the work session, but she is online today.
Okay. Ms. Dryban, did you want to say anything, or you don't have to if
Can you see me? Can you hear me okay?
we can hear you.
Hi. Yeah, I've been on the I've been on the hearing board for a couple of months now, and really liking it and just really wanting to give back to the community and help as much as I can. So yeah.
Great. Well, we appreciate you staying on board. I feel like you just came on recently.
I did. Yeah, just a couple months ago. So
I assume you were fulfilling someone else's term, and now this is your own term.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve the appointment for Council?
I'll move the nomination.
Okay, Councilman Crandall, is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, now we're seconded. Mr. Secretary, please call the roll.
Mr. Ertel,
Aye.
Mr. Crandall,
Aye.
Mr. Young, Mr. Patoka,
Aye.
Mr. Catch,
Aye.
Mr. Jones,
Aye.
Mr. Marks.
Aye.
Okay, appointment is confirmed. Congratulations, Mrs. Draban, and we look forward to you serving into the future on the Animal Hearing Board.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. All right, next up, we have another reappointment to the Animal Hearing Board. This is for Michelle Shelley Silwick. And I know Ms. Silwick testified at our work session last week. Is Ms. Silwick with us or online or? Okay. Ms. Silwick, I know you testified last week, and unless you want to give us any further testimony, I think we're ready to vote unless members have questions.
Okay, I'm ready if you're ready.
Okay, all right, good. Is there a motion to approve Ms. Silwick for reappointment?
I'll move it.
Okay, and I'll second it. Mr. Secretary, can you please call the roll on Ms. Silwick?
Mr. Ertel,
Aye.
Mr. Young,
Aye.
Mr. Patoka,
Aye.
Mr. Catch,
Aye.
Mr. Jones,
Aye.
Mr. Marks,
Aye.
Mr. Crandall.
Aye.
Okay, great. Congratulations, Ms. Silwick.
Thank you very much.
Give one more clap for, we missed Ms. Dryban. And then so thank you so much. And then we have one more, and I skipped the order here, but Miss Amanda Serafini. And I know Miss Serafini spoke at the work session as well. She's not here. Okay. Is there a motion to approve Miss Serafini?
I'll move it.
Second.
Okay, great. Mr. Secretary, can you please call the roll on Ms. Serafini?
Certainly. Mr. Ertel,
Aye.
Mr. Patoka,
Aye.
Mr. Catch,
Aye.
Mr. Jones,
Aye.
Mr. Marks,
Aye.
Mr. Crandall,
Aye.
Mr. Young.
Aye.
Okay, appointment is confirmed. Congratulations, Ms. Serafini, wherever you might be tonight. And, all right, Mr. Secretary, I think we have final reading and vote on some bills tonight.
Yes, sir. First,
Go with the first.
yes, sir. First is Bill 43-25, sponsored by Councilman Jones, Voluntary Security Camera Registration Program.
Thank you.
Councilman Jones, the
Yes.
floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And just to recap, this bill, to make a long story short, is a force multiplier for the police. And it will give citizens an opportunity to do even more in terms of cooperating with the police to keep their community safe. So currently, if a crime were to occur, the police normally look around the community for video cameras. And then they have to contact the owners of those cameras and try to see if there's any footage that's helpful in terms of solving a crime. What this bill would do is simply give the citizens an opportunity to fill out a form to letting the police department know that they have cameras that is facing in the public space. So let's take some of the worst examples that we can think of. If a parent were to come outside and see their kid is no longer there, they call the police. This is not a time for riding around looking for cameras. It would be nice to pull up the computer in the car and have a list of everyone in that community that have a camera, and then you're able to contact those individuals to see if they have any footage that can be uploaded to the police department so that they can get the clues necessary to save the child or solve any other crime. So this is a force multiplier in terms of helping the police, but it also gives the citizens an opportunity to participate in additional ways in terms of keeping their communities safe. If there's any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer.
Mr. Chair?
Councilman Crandall.
Sure. Councilman Jones, as I said in the work session, good job on this. I'll look forward to voting on it. One question that came up as we were sort of deliberating this privately was, are there protections in place for an individual or resident who signs up and then, has footage that becomes part of a case to make against a criminal activity? Are you aware of how the police department handles that?
Yeah, so first of all, to be clear, maybe I was not too clear, this is all on a voluntary basis. So people would not automatically give over the footage to the police. The police would not be able to automatically have access to the footage. The people would have to choose to hand over the footage to the police. So that's the first thing. So the police don't have access to the cameras. The second thing is, I believe, as I understand it, there are some protections in terms of, depending on the case. I'm sort of getting a little deep into the technical part, but there may be some certification process in terms of somebody attesting to the fact that, yes, that's my camera, and no, I didn't tamper with it, and yes, this is the raw footage. There may be some process during a case where they have to attest to that fact. In terms of any other protections, I'm not sure. I don't think anybody can be sued for it if they are a good Samaritan coming forward to help the police.
Right. Well, I was more concerned like on a witness protection level, but to your point, all of this does is give a listing of cameras that people have signed up to be on the registry.
Yes.
So the police department is already making cases using volunteered footage, right, but they have to physically search out who has cameras and who doesn't. So,
right.
So there have to be already processes and protocols in place for handling evidence like this. So.
Yes, and I'm going to add that now with the I'm going to get the name wrong. What is the crime center? Info center. So it's going to be easily uploaded and it can be shared right away with the officers in the field. Once they make contact with somebody and they say that, yes, I have footage, if it's worth something, that can be pushed out into the field right away.
Thanks, Councilman. Thanks, Mr. Chair.
Absolutely.
And Mr. Chairman, just to add, there is language in the bill that states that the registration records shall be kept confidential to the extent permitted by law. So there will be whatever level of protection the law would allow, that will be maintained.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions from the members? Councilman Marks, you have your mic on. You okay?
No, I don't.
Okay. All right. Is there a motion to approve?
I'll move it.
I'll second it. Mr. Secretary, please call the roll.
Mr. Ertel?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
Mr. Marks?
Aye.
Mr. Crandall?
Aye.
Mr. Young?
Aye.
Mr. Patoka?
Aye.
Mr. Catch?
Aye.
Okay. Bill passes. And congratulations,
Thank you.
Councilman Jones. I know you've been working on this a while.
Yep.
So we will move on to the next bill, since you were chair, right?
Yes, sometimes, sometimes
Takes a while.
it takes a while. That's okay. We're here now. That's the important part.
All right.
Next is Bill 44-25, sponsored by Councilman Marks, zoning regulations, commercial film production.
Councilman Marks.
Thank you very much. Bill 4425 amends the Baltimore County zoning regulations to require a use permit for commercial film production in a residential zone regardless of the number of days a lot is used. and requires certain notice to be posted at the discretion of the PAI director.
Okay, any questions from the members? I know we talked about this at a work session a little bit too. Is there a motion to approve?
I'll second.
Okay, Mr. Secretary, can you please call the roll for 25?
Mr. Ertel?
Aye.
Mr. Marks?
Aye.
Mr. Crandall?
Aye.
Mr. Young?
Aye.
Mr. Patoka?
Aye.
Mr. Catch?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
Okay, bill passes. Mr. Secretary, I was going to take a little privilege here and move to fiscal matters quickly, and then we'll get right back to bills.
Certainly.
So the council will now consider all fiscal matters. Extensive testimony was taken at the council's work session on August 26, 2025. The witnesses who testified at the work session are present to restate their testimony if needed. If a council member has any questions regarding a particular fiscal matter, that item will be discussed as a separate matter. I will now call upon the secretary to read the cover letter for fiscal matters 1 through 6 and 8. Fiscal matter 7 was withdrawn prior to the meeting.
Fiscal matter 1 is a contract of sale with Dennis and Tama Auerrand. This is for the acquisition of an easement at 3110A and 3110B Summit Avenue. Fiscal matter 2 is a contract of sale with Christel and Tiante Dorman, acquisition of an easement at 9803B Harford Road. Fiscal matter 3 is a deed of donation, State of Maryland, SHA, county-owned parcel, US 1 at Avalon Ridge Boulevard. Fiscal matter 4 is 39 contracts for senior assisted living services. Fiscal matter 5 is a contract with Independent Maryland Achieving Growth through Empowerment Incorporated. Fiscal matter 6 is 3 amendments to contracts for snow removal and de-icing services. And fiscal matter 8 is a contract with People Encouraging People Incorporated for transitional age youth program.
Okay. Are there any questions or items from the members on fiscal matters? Is there a motion to approve?
Motion.
Second.
Okay, motion and a second. Mr. Secretary, can you please call the roll on fiscal matters 1 through 6 and 8?
Yes. Mr. Ertel?
Aye.
Mr. Catch?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
Mr. Marks?
Aye.
Mr. Crandall?
Aye.
Mr. Young?
Aye.
Mr. Patoka?
Aye.
Okay, fiscal matters 1 through 6, and 8 pass. So now we'll move on to Bill 4525. This is sponsored by Councilman Marks. Councilman Marks, did you want to say any words about this?
Sure. Bill 4525 clarifies certain prohibited uses in the Maryland 43 overlay district and adds an additional prohibited use. We had a lot of discussion about this bill. I do want to say to the gentleman here from Al Metals, I wanted to hold this bill over, delay this bill for 2 weeks while we could hopefully address some of your concerns. However, due to the summer,
I didn't knock it off.
what I will do is commit to you that if you want to work with me, we can always pass legislation to try to address your situation, okay? I would like to work with you on this. And several of the council members have expressed concerns about your plight. So, but we do have to move on this bill because the bill dies if we don't. In other words, we can't extend it for 2 weeks. Yes. Sure.
I can be.
Because you just added amendments to it, so you're still going to vote on it with those amendments?
We're going to vote.
Can extend it to?
We've discussed the amendments. We've mentioned the amendments. Look, I'm offering assistance.
Second.
I tried reaching Mr. Bennett 3 times this evening. I couldn't get through. And I'm extending my hand. I'm willing to work with you. But there's some timeliness with this bill, and I don't want to just have to introduce another bill. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Mr. Chair, if I may?
Yes, Councilman Crane.
Gentlemen, I would take Councilman Marks up on his offer. I've spoken with him, and he is willing to work with you. He knows this kind of stuff inside and out. My suggestion would be to engage him as much as possible. And I appreciate, and Councilman, I appreciate your willingness to try to work through the issue.
And if we can find a solution, we can introduce it as early as 2 weeks from now. So, okay, thank you.
Okay. Was there anything else on that? Is there an amendment or no? Okay. Mr. Secretary, did you want to?
Yes, so there are two amendments that are offered by Councilman Marks to the bill. And all of the amendments that'll be mentioned, have been posted as per our rules. For this bill, the amendment would add 2 additional prohibited uses. One would be a trucking facility unless it was in operation prior to September 1, 2025, or located within an overall tract of at least 800 acres that as of February 19th, 2013 is under common ownership or control or part of a common scheme of development, and a non-solar power generating or power distribution facility or facility that combines these uses. And then the amendment would also provide grandfathering language that the bill shall not apply to any use that was established on property zone MD 43 prior to September 1, 2020. So basically like a 5-year grandfathering.
Okay. Any questions from the members on that? No? All right. Councilman Jones.
Yeah, I guess have a question for Councilman Marks. I guess want to make sure, it's a passage of this bill. Are we putting people out of work?
Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
Is that Councilman Catch saying that?
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know my speaker was
That's
on.
the heckler from the virtual audience.
Sorry.
I would say, Councilman Jones, that there are plenty of other places where that business could relocate, so that those people are not out of work.
But I guess my only question is, I guess in some ways, we make the rules. We put the zoning on property. We have an opportunity to change the zoning. And if somebody comes along and buy a piece of property and set up a business, and then I know people can go other places, but I want to make sure that we are truly open for business and tell the business community that, there's rules here in Baltimore County that you can count on. That if you invest your money and you come here, we're going to honor it. And listen, my heart goes out to everybody who lives around these facilities. I certainly understand. It's a very tough decision, but I'm hopeful that, and I trust you, we've sat here together for a long time, that you're going to do your part to make sure that we don't put people out of business.
That's why I said what I said when I began my statement.
Okay.
And that's why we're adopting grandfathering legislation. We're trying to strike a balance.
Okay.
That's what legislative bodies do, is they try to strike a balance.
Councilman Patoka.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just want to understand it. Is this is where Lennar Homes built the property right up over an industrial property?
It's close.
So, yeah, and now, because that builder decided to go as far as it possibly could over an industrial site, now all of a sudden they don't like the industrial site. So to me, that's what's happening. So I understand that it's not my district, it's Councilman Marks's district, so I'm going to respect what he says weighs heavily with me, but I also, when he says he's going to assist and he's going to work with the community, I've always known Councilman Marks to be a man of his word. But I do think, at some point, and there has to be some level of buffer. Builders need to have buffers so that if they're flush up on an industrial site, they know that at some point there is going to be an issue. And so that's why we have buffers. That's why we have setback. And so I'm not sure exactly how this all played out, but into the future, I think it's important that we do respect buffers and setback.
Yeah, I was not the council representative when the Greenlee development was proposed. And we're trying to fix the problem.
And just maybe to state the obvious here, but the Earls Road area has always been very industrial. Different uses, quarries, junkyards, a lot of different trucking companies, repair facilities, things like that. And what we don't want to do is, because we've built housing, put businesses out of business or, make their property less valuable or force them to go somewhere else where, and I think the original intentions of the Greenlee or at least the 43 development was to have mixed use and as Councilman Patoka pointed out, unfortunately now we're cleaning up something where if there would have been a buffer, this conversation might not be happening today. So it puts us in a spot where we got to clean up after the fact. So.
Mr. Chairman.
Size of this buffer, there appears to be a buffer. I got to see that's what's up on a hill when it overlooks a lot of that.
There is a buffer.
It's up above it.
Just need to measure it, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, Councilman Ketch, did you have a?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have a question for the council secretary. The original legislation, I think, does make it clear that this type of business cannot be located in this next to this residential community. I look at the new language as clarifying. Is that correct or not?
That is correct, Mr. Catch. The original legislation, meaning what was already in county law or the county regulations prior to Bill 4525, under 259.11 paragraph C, use is prohibited, notwithstanding any provision of the zoning regulations to the contrary, the following uses are prohibited. And number 4 on that list is scrap metal processing facility. And what the bill did was, as you indicate, clarify or expound, whatever the word may be, to say, or any facility that accepts, processes, or recycles scrap metal, appliances, machinery, or equipment. So scrap metal processing facility has always been in the law as a prohibited use.
Right. Now, I think the message here is that if anyone is going to buy a home or property and there's vacant property near there or whatever, they need to do their due diligence. And if they trees all in back of their home that on someone else's property, they would need to find out what the zoning is of that property and see what may happen in the future. So, and the same with this situation. The company that bought this property, if they had, I don't know if their attorney looked at the current law and because they need to do their due diligence and make sure that they could locate that business there. And I think it's under the current law, it's very much up in the air, if not pretty definite that they can't. So buyers beware. Check to make sure that when you buy something that what goes next to it is going to complement what you're buying and not be something that is uncomfortable or that you would not want next to you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, thank you, Councilman Catch. Mr. Secretary, do we have a motion for the amendments?
I'll move it.
Second.
Mr. Secretary, you want to call the roll on the amendments for Bill 4525?
Mr. Ertel,
Aye.
Mr. Marks,
Aye.
Mr. Crandall,
Aye.
Mr. Young,
Aye.
Mr. Patoka,
Aye.
Mr. Catch,
Aye.
Mr. Jones.
Aye.
Okay, amendments pass. Mr. Sec, is there any more discussion on the bill as amended? Okay. Do you want to call the, do we have a motion to approve Bill 4525 as amended?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, and second from Councilman Catch. Mr. Secretary, please call the roll.
Mr. Ertel,
Aye.
Mr. Marks,
Aye.
Mr. Young,
Aye.
Mr. Patoka,
Aye.
Mr. Catch,
Aye.
Mr. Jones,
Aye.
Mr. Crandall.
Aye.
Okay, Bill 4525 as amended passes. Next bill, Mr. Secretary.
Next is, as I indicated earlier, Bills 4625 and 4725 were withdrawn and reintroduced as 65 and 6625 respectively. So that would bring us to Bill 48-25, sponsored by Councilman Catch, zoning regulations, solar facilities, prime farmland.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, members of the council, this is the second introduction of this bill. The first bill was put in during the legislative session, and I had an interest, we all had an interest in finding out if legislation would pass on the state level, which would impact this particular bill. And indeed, they did pass legislation on the state level. And so this reintroduction, what it does is if property, farmland, is going to produce 1 megawatt or less of electricity, the solar panels cannot be erected on prime and productive soil. We learned during the COVID-19 pandemic how important our agricultural industry is to Baltimore County. We were able to provide food for people, and I just think that it's foolish for us to use prime and productive land for this purpose when people, you can put solar panels on roofs, you can put it on parking lots, and that seems to be the sensible way to proceed.
Okay. Are there any amendments on this one? Okay. Do you want to read the amendment?
There is an amendment, Mr. Chairman. The amendment is offered by Councilman Marks, and it is a grandfathering amendment. It would state that Bill 4825 would apply or shall apply to any project that has not received final non-appealable zoning approval as of the effective date of the act.
And I accept the amendment.
Yeah, and I think,
Go ahead, Councilman
thank you,
Marks.
Councilman Catch. I'm just being consistent. When we had the debate over the solar bill that I put in, we also agree to this type of amendment. So I'm just being consistent.
Councilman Young, I believe you have an amendment too, don't you?
No, Councilman, in the initial work session, I brought up a question about agrivoltaics, but that was answered.
Okay. It's already in the law. Okay. Right.
Thank you.
Oh, good.
We're good.
Is there a motion to approve the amendment?
I'll move it.
Second.
Okay. Mr. Secretary, can you please call the roll on the amendment for Bill 4825?
Mr. Ertel?
Aye.
Mr. Patoka?
Aye.
Mr. Catch?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
Mr. Marks?
Aye.
Mr. Crandall?
Aye.
Mr. Young?
Aye.
Okay, amendment passes. Are there any questions or comments from the members on the Bill 4825 as amended before we ask for a motion?
Move the bills amendment.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, Mr. Secretary, can you call the roll on Bill 4825 as amended, please?
Mr. Ertel?
Aye.
Mr. Marks?
Aye.
Mr. Crandall?
Aye.
Mr. Young?
Aye.
Mr. Patoka?
Aye.
Mr. Catch?
Aye.
Mr. James?
Aye.
Okay, Bill 4825 as amended passes. Next bill, please, Mr. Secretary.
Next is Bill 49-25. This bill is sponsored by council members Catch, Marks, and Jones. County Charter, Department of Agriculture establishment.
I'm reminded that apparently I went on and on and on about this bill 2 weeks ago during the work session, or 1 week ago. So,
I don't think that's true, Councilman Catch. You
okay,
didn't go.
okay.
You would never.
It's certainly true.
Of all people, you're right. I certainly would not. Right. But anyhow, if it's the pleasure of the council, I mean, I can go into a short version or a longer version of what and why this bill's important.
I think the short version's good, Councilman
Okay.
Catch. I mean, we actually have gotten a lot of testimony on this. And
Yes.
I think we have a pretty clear picture on it.
Right. Well, this bill creates the Department of Agriculture for Baltimore County. It's something that the farmers have wanted ever since I was elected to the council. And it's also the recommendation of the Ag Board. And so I mentioned about COVID-19 and how we relied on the agricultural sector. And on top of that, the agricultural sector hires thousands of people, revenue of $90-some million a year. And I just think that we need to have someone who will be an advocate for the ag community when we deal with issues that are somewhat complicated and where we really need the input of the Director of Agriculture.
Councilman Patoka?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Councilman Catch, I appreciate your brevity on that, and I was so impressed that I'd like to be a co-sponsor of this bill.
Okay, sounds good.
Secretary.
And if I may, I'd like to as well. If we can still do that. I know we're late to the party, to the farm party,
Better late than never.
the field party.
The field party.
It's what they do in North County. They have field parties.
That's true. That is true. So,
Are there any amendments to this, Mr. Secretary?
There are two,
Okay.
Mr. Chairman. The first is offered by Councilman Crandall. Or no, what am I saying? That's wrong bill. There is one amendment. Sorry. There's one amendment to the bill. It is offered by Councilman Marks, and this amendment would insert a sentence as one of the functions and duties of the new Department of Agriculture that encourages local food production and distribution as a method of addressing food insecurity in the county.
and I support this amendment.
Councilman, you didn't need to. Do you need to?
No, it just amplifies what Councilman Catch was saying.
Okay. You want a motion for your?
I'll motion for the amendment.
I'll second it. Mr. Secretary, can you please call the roll on the amendment to Bill 4925?
Mr. Ertel?
Aye.
Mr. Marks?
Aye.
Mr. Crandall?
Aye.
Mr. Young?
Aye.
Mr. Patoka?
Aye.
Mr. Catch?
Aye.
Mrs. Jones?
Aye.
Okay, amendment passes. Are there any questions or comments from the members at this point? Councilman Marks?
Thank you. I know the administration had a lot of discussions with us, and their preference, I think, would have been for either a department established by traditional legislation or some other entity. And quite frankly, some of the things that the advocates for the agricultural community have wanted to do can't be done through a charter amendment, right? We can't put into the charter language about the Ag Center, for example. But I think there is a larger need to make permanent in the charter the importance of the agricultural sector.
Thank you, Councilman Marks.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, Councilman
Oh, no,
Jones?
did you have a
No, good. No, I did not.
No, I was going to say that, you know, I'm normally very hesitant to constantly change the charter, but I do believe that Department of Agriculture is necessary. My district probably has the second largest portion of farmland in Baltimore County. And I do know from talking to my neighbors, I do know the struggles that they go through, and we want to be as supportive as possible. And on a more friendly note, I remember just a couple of weeks ago, back in August the 2nd, I went up to the Hereford Junior Farm Fair. And it was so exciting to see so many young people engaged in farming and taking care of their livestock. And we want to make sure we provide all the support necessary so that they can grow up, continue that fine farming tradition, and that we as a government be as supportive as we can to help them succeed.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Jones. Councilman Young?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Councilman Catch, for your work on this. I also want to point out some of my own, mirroring some of the remarks that Councilman Jones had made. This will be today in front of us on the agenda, there is the 5th and 6th charter amendment in the last 2.5 years. Out of those 6, only 3 have had particular work groups or commissions that have been put together to allow for public input that makes a better product. And I would say that the agricultural department and a new department under the executive branch for the Department of Agriculture has had that public input related to the commission that was established under former County Executive Johnny O. They've been recommending and asking for a department for 3 years. And while strides have been made and actions have been taken to try and accommodate the agricultural community, there was no movement to try and create a department under the executive branch. I will take and applaud the commission in advocating for their members and advocating for the agricultural community of Baltimore County and allowing for multiple opportunities for folks to weigh in and making a clear path to what this department could look like and making it, in my opinion, easier for the executive branch to execute the creation of this department. I would say that, and I caveat that to say that in the past, when we've had charter amendments, there are often many amendments to those charter amendments because there hasn't been an ample opportunity for folks to weigh in other than the public meetings that we have here. So, Wade, Councilman Catch, I know that we've had this conversation in the past. I appreciate you advocating for the department, and I appreciate the work of the commission that's been calling for this for years, and look forward to working with the department and whoever the new director is once the executive branch moves forward with it, pending it passes the public in November. So, thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Councilman Young.
Thank you.
Councilman Crandall, did you have something, or you just?
I did not, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Okay. All right. Everybody's good. Is there a motion to approve Bill 4925 as amended?
So moved.
Second. Okay. We have a motion and a second. Mr. Secretary, can you please call the roll on Bill 4925 as amended?
Mr. Ertel,
Aye.
Mr. Catch,
Aye.
Mr. Jones,
Aye.
Mr. Marks, Mr. Crandall,
Aye.
Mr. Young,
Aye.
Mr. Patoka.
Aye.
Okay,
Thank you.
Bill
Thank you.
Bill 4925 as amended is passed. Congratulations, Councilman Catch. I know you've worked very hard on this bill.
You all have made the farming community very happy. They've advocated for this the 11 years that I've been on the council, and their work has paid off, and I really appreciate it.
And you know, Councilman Catch, they made, I think of the speakers that we've had in the last, this summer, they were both the most entertaining, and also I think we all learned a lot too, about different aspects of farming in the county.
Yeah, they did an excellent job. They really did, and I appreciate it so much, and so do they. So do they.
Okay, well, thank you, sir. All right, so we'll move on to Bill 5025.
Correct.
This is sponsored by Councilman Patoka and Marks. Councilman Patoka? did you
County
want-
Charter Inspector General Appointment Board.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Bill 5025 is a good government initiative. It creates an independent Inspector General Appointment Board to appoint and reappoint the county's Inspector General. It's not an oversight board. It's not an advisory board. It's simply an appointment board. It'll be a 7-member board, 1 member appointed by the county executive, member number 2 appointed by the county council, member number 3 appointed by the director of ethics. That must be someone that is retired from the judiciary. And number 4 would be someone who is a member of the Board of Inspector Generals. Number 5, someone who comes out of, that is a certified public accountant in Maryland. Number 6, someone who is a faculty member for a college or university in Baltimore County. And number 7, someone who is a faculty member from an HBCU in the Baltimore region. What you must be 21 years of age. You must have some level of expertise on the works of an Inspector General and fraud and waste abuse. What you cannot be is you cannot be an elected official. You cannot be a spouse of an elected official. You cannot be employed by an elected official, and you cannot be a sibling of an elected official. The intent here is to take the politics out of the Inspector General, and even more importantly, we want our residents to have faith in Baltimore County government. And I think this moves the needle forward in terms of good government, in terms of good public policy, and in terms of the public having faith in their county government. So thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Councilman Patoka. Wasn't there a lobbyist in there too? Or did I?
Correct. Thank you. Good insight. You cannot, if there are any lobbyists in the room, you cannot be on the Inspector General Appointment Board.
Councilman Jones.
No, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I know that, I guess we just had a charter amendment. We had a Blue Ribbon Commission. They came up with recommendations a couple of years ago. And we elected to, pass that charter amendment the way everybody advocated for it. And at that particular time, we had a similar measure that did not get a vote. But I'm going to tell you, I'm going to support the bill or the charter change, even though I don't like the idea of changing the charter every time there's an issue. And the reason I'm going to support it because we talk about taking politics out of the selection process. And what I just witnessed was nothing but politics. What I witnessed was people listening to the loudest voices in the room. What I witnessed was us taking a woman who came here applying for a job, Miss Khadijah Walker. She went through the entire process. She came out on top. And then I saw nothing but politics. I saw people say, I'm not voting for anybody but Kelly Madigan. I saw people say, I'm not voting for her because she doesn't have local government experience. Then I saw people say, well, I'm not voting for anybody who lives so far away. And so what I saw was nothing but politics. So hopefully, when we have a selection board, then hopefully there won't be as much politics or any politics in the selection of an inspector general, because that office should be apolitical and not be subject to all the things that we saw just recently. So yes, I'll be in support. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Jones. Any others before we, I think we have a few amendments. Secretary?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman and members of the council. There is an amendment offered by the bill sponsor, Councilman Patoka. Several items within his amendment. One would require residency of the Inspector General in the Baltimore, Columbia, Towson Metropolitan Statistical Area as defined by the United States Office of Management and Budget. Next is that there would be a list of potential grounds for removal of the Inspector General by the appointment board. That would include misconduct in office, persistent failure to perform the duties of office, conduct prejudicial to the proper administration of justice, or conviction of a felony. And then the third item would be to amend the language in the bill and in current law that requires a public hearing on the removal to instead state that upon being notified of the grounds for removal, the Inspector General may request a public hearing on the removal within 10 days, and the hearing would then take place within 21 days of that request. So those are the three items that Mr. Patoka would seek to amend the bill from.
Councilman Patoka, did you want to address this?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. Let me just address the residency requirement of requiring the Inspector General to live in the Baltimore region. I think it's important. We churned for weeks to months on where our Inspector General nominee lived, how long her commute would be, and I think this intends to take that out of the discussion. I also think it's really, really important for the leadership team, the directors of county agencies, the leadership in county agencies, to be part of the community, to go to the faith-based institutions here, to go to the supermarket here, to be integral to the community and the county we serve, and not just, the county is just a highway that I ride on from some other state or some other county to come to this place where I work in Baltimore County. So I think it's not only important to the Inspector General situation, but really in terms of leadership in this county. We should have a vested interest in the county we serve. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, sir. Councilman Young.
Just to clarify, the amendment is you don't have to be a resident to be eligible. You have to be a resident to serve in the position.
Correct.
Okay, gotcha. Just wanted.
Correct.
I didn't have the language in front of me. I thought that's what it said. Just wanted to clarify. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Young. Any others?
Yes.
On the amendment? Councilman Jones.
Yes, I think it's, first of all, I'm glad for the clarification, Councilman Young, because I think it's important that we, when filling any position in Baltimore County, we cast the net as wide as we can to get the best qualified people for the job to serve the citizens of Baltimore County. And once again, I think it's important that we note that there's only 4 people in county government with a residency requirement. There's the chief of police, there's the chief of the fire department, there's the superintendent of schools, and there's the chief administrative officer. And of course, us elected officials. But other folks in the executive branch, there's only 4. And we have currently, and I'm not going to out anybody, but we certainly have department heads that don't live in those areas that you just mentioned. And we have, it's interesting that I don't know, but I am told that our current Inspector General don't live in Baltimore County. So I guess it seems like we're expanding the area that would include our current Inspector General. But I guess my point is this smacks of more politics. The reality is when people come here and work for us, we should cast the net as wide as we can to get the best person that we can. And then when we get the person, it's incumbent upon them to show up for work. The last nominee, Ms. Walker, made it clear that she would make the arrangements to move to Baltimore County. But that didn't stop us from making a big deal about where she lived and how she was going to get to work. And at the end of the day, as a government, our job is to make sure people show up for work and do the job that we're paying them to do. And how they get to work and how long it takes them to drive to get to work, that's starting to go down the red herring where, where we probably should not be.
Councilman Patoka.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So Councilman Jones, I respect Ms. Walker, and I think she has a really solid resume, but I did not hear her say that she would move to Baltimore County. I didn't I spoke with her privately in my office. She sat in the witness chair and said, the first hearing, she said that that residency was not a requirement, is what I recall. And I'm sure you can check the records and see if I recall correctly. In the second time she sat in the witness chair, she said that if she was selected, she would consider moving closer to Baltimore County. Now, so she was living in Fredericksburg, and I'm not judging her on that, but that closer to Baltimore County, that's a wide range of proximity from Fredericksburg. And so I wasn't clear if that meant I would move to Baltimore County, if I would move to Baltimore City or the Baltimore region, or if that meant I'll move to Fairfax County, Virginia, which is closer, or Northern Virginia, or Prince George's County, or Rockville, or Charles County. I didn't know because there was no clarity in that. So you said you heard her, I don't know if she said that privately to you, but I did not hear her say that to me or in a public setting.
I guess what I heard was that if she received the job, then she would make the arrangements to move to Baltimore County. But at the same time, I guess the issue is for us as a government, how a person comes to work, how far it takes them to get to work, that is on that person when they accept the job. Now, I agree that Fredericksburg is a long way, and I cannot imagine anybody somehow trying to commute that far. But the point is, it's important that when we hire people, we cast the net as wide as we can. Hopefully, we're conducting a national search. People know where they have to come to work. And it's incumbent upon us to find the best person possible to work here in Baltimore County. We should not put more restrictions on anybody who wants to come and work here. We should judge them based off of their qualifications, their experience, and their ability to do the job for the citizens of Baltimore County. That's what's important.
Okay. Any others? Is there a motion to approve the amendment?
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, Mr. Secretary, please call the roll on the first set of amendments. I think there's one other amendment after this, correct?
Yes. Mr. Ertel?
Aye.
Mr. Patoka?
Aye.
Mr. Catch?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Nay.
Mr. Marks?
Aye.
Mr. Crandall?
Aye.
Mr. Young?
Aye.
Okay. The amendments pass. Mr. Secretary, can you please read the second amendment?
Certainly. The second is offered by Councilman Crandall. There is a requirement, as Mr. Patoka indicated in his remarks, that one of the members of the appointment board would be a faculty member at an historically black college or university located in the Baltimore region. Mr. Crandall's amendment would provide another option to that selection to also include possibly a faculty member at a law school in the state of Maryland. So either or.
Any discussion on that, Councilman Crandall?
Just briefly, Mr. Chair, I thought the language in the original bill limiting this one seat on the board to a professor at either Morgan State or Coppin State really limited the population for someone to sit on that board, and we were potentially we could potentially miss talent that are professors at law schools in the Baltimore region, UB and University of Maryland, which are pretty highly regarded law schools. So I thought that this amendment would expand the talent base that could potentially be on a seat on the board.
Right, and because they have to be a resident also, so that.
Correct. So there are some,
Theoretically,
I thought that there were some pretty severe restrictions where the original language has a professor at an historic black college or university, but also be a Baltimore County resident that also needs the subject matter expertise and also wants to do the job. That could be some limiting restrictions on actually filling that seat. So I thought we would open the talent pool up a little bit, considering that we do have quite a bit of law and ethics talent within our law schools in the Baltimore region.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, Councilman Jones.
Now, is this the amendment you're proposing, is this if there is no one from an HBCU that is interested, then we go someplace else, or is this one or the other?
I don't believe that we had written it to have HBCU professors have priority. It just opens up the talent pool for that particular seat. Mr. Bostwick, do I have that correct in my estimation on how we wrote that bill?
Yes.
Or wrote that amendment?
That's right. It would allow that member, that selection of that member to be a faculty member at one of the HBCUs in the Baltimore region, or of a law school located in the state of Maryland, which you correctly point out amounts to two.
So my intention was that the applicant pool be treated equally if they reach these qualifications.
So I guess, first of all, to be clear, and I'm going to take you that your heart is pure and you really want to do the right thing. So that's I'm come from that place. But there are literally hundreds, if not maybe thousands of faculty members that go to work every day at HBCUs, whether it be Coppin or Morgan or maybe even Bowie, that live here in Baltimore County. I don't think that there will be an issue finding a person from an HBCU to serve here in Baltimore County. So when I look at the list of people that we're going to have serve on the board, and we single out HBCUs because we're worried that they won't be able to have a person, it's a little troubling to me. If we want to change the entire makeup of all the boards and get rid of all the other stipulations, then that's fine. But I don't think it's fair that we would single out HBCUs as though they would not have a person that lives in Baltimore County. I think they have more than enough qualified people that live in Baltimore County, because although they work in this city, all of them don't live in this city. They live wherever they want to work, wherever they want to live. Howard County, Baltimore County, Carroll County, wherever.
Well, Councilman, I would say that as far as your suggestion at Bowie, I'm not sure if Bowie would qualify as being part of the Baltimore region. So that, as far as I understood, the HBCU component to the bill really was limited to Morgan and Coppin. And then, yes, there might be thousands of employees that these two universities employ, but how many actually will qualify under the other restrictions, have subject matter expertise, the willingness to do it, and be a Baltimore County resident? So I'm not going to disagree with you about the population of it. You know, I don't believe that there is any other board or commission in Baltimore County where there's an HBCU component at all. So I was sort of puzzled why it was in there in the first place. I know it's an attempt at diversity, but you just mentioned like open the talent pool as wide as we can to get the best people possible.
No, you're absolutely right.
And it doesn't mean that a professor at University of Maryland or University of Baltimore Law School would not be African American or Hispanic or some other ethnicity besides white or a woman.
Well, you know, truth of the matter is, it doesn't mean that, you know, because they are a faculty member at HBCU that they would be black, right? They can be anybody that they seem necessary. I guess the point is, the makeup of this board is extremely similar to a makeup of a board I had proposed a couple of years ago. And the idea of having a member of an HBCU was an attempt to make sure that we were being inclusive and to make sure that hopefully we would get a person of color on this board. And that's probably one of the best ways to do that, absent of just having some quota. So I guess don't think it's a good idea that we sort of single out an HBCU and basically take them off the list. When we look at all the other people that will be on this board, and, you know, you could take them off the list just as easily.
Well, Councilman, no one's taking off anyone if they qualify to be on the board.
Yeah, but when you say or, what you're saying is it doesn't have to be them, it can be someone else.
Well, you're limiting the population for a non-HBCU employee to only being a professor at the graduate level, whereas the HBCU component, as the bill is written, does not have to be a graduate professor, it just has to be a professor or employee.
Thank you, Professor.
So,
Councilman Patoka?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just to be fair, I want to make sure that everybody understands that, Councilman Jones, you did point out the board that you proposed a couple of years ago and the makeup of that board, but I don't think it's fair to equate that board to this board. The board you proposed several years ago was an oversight and advisory board. This board has no role in oversight and is not an advisory board to the Inspector General's office. It is simply an appointment board, a reappointment board. And for cause, it does have the ability to remove an Inspector General. But I just want to make it clear that it's very different than the board that you proposed several years ago. In fact, in many cases, it's the polar opposite of that. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Councilman Patoka, I'm sure you the statement in error, but I will correct you that that bill, at no time did it use the word oversight. The only word that was ever used in that bill was advisory. And that board at that time had no ability to remove the Inspector General or change the conditions under which the Inspector General will be removed. It was simply to provide some advice so another set of eyes would be there, so that there would be an opportunity for people to, if they had questions, concerns, complaints, it would be some place where they could go where somebody can look over the shoulders of the Inspector General and make sure that they are providing assistance in the cases, but in no way did that board have any real authority over the Inspector General. Clearly none to remove the Inspector General.
Well, I think that we're in agreement then, because the two bills are very different, and the two boards are very different.
I think the boards are exactly the same. The makeup.
Councilman Marks, did you? Okay. Is that everyone?
Well, yeah, Mr. Chair, no, I'll move the amendment unless there's more discussion. I'm not sure.
I'll second it. Mr. Secretary, do you want to call the roll?
Yes, Mr. Ertel,
Aye.
Mr. Crandall,
Aye.
Mr. Young,
Aye.
Mr. Patoka,
Aye.
Mr. Catch,
Aye.
Mr. Jones,
Nay.
Mr. Marks.
Aye.
Okay, amendment passes. Now we're on to,
Mr. Chairman.
yes, Councilman Catch, sorry.
Yes, I have a question for our council secretary. I don't have the bill in front of me. Who is it that would remove an IG should the IG be convicted of a felony or whatever those conditions that are listed? Who would do that?
The appointment board.
Okay, now, is that now part of the amendment to the charter or not?
Yes.
So if I were to want to see some evaluation of the job that a inspector general is doing, let's say the inspector general does an audit, and I would like to see that audit checked to make sure that it's accurate and represents the situation with that particular audit that the IG did. And what about, we have that list of a hotline that people can call and the inspector general and tell that office that this is going on in the county and that's going on. And as I understand it, the inspector general's office makes the final decision as to whether or not to investigate certain tips or not investigate them. If you would like, I'd like to see the board take a look at that. Now, if we in the future were to add these two powers to the appointing board, would that have to be part of the county charter or not?
I believe it would. I defer to the county attorney, but
I would concur, Mr. Cash, with that. I think that would also have to be a part of the charter amendment that would go to the voters.
Okay, so okay. I do support this bill, but I'm sorry that it doesn't go a little further so that we can have evaluation of the job that the IG is doing. So I just want to make that statement. And I was hoping the answer would be that we could just pass normal legislation and that would be sufficient. But obviously the answer is no. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Councilman Catch.
Mr. Chairman,
Councilman Young?
just to also piggyback off of Councilman Catch, you're asking the right questions, and also I shared some of the same comments from the previous work sessions related to the thought process behind HBCU, looking at similar legislation or similar boards for jurisdictions that are directly next to Baltimore County. They've referenced law schools, but we obviously don't have any law schools in Baltimore County. We don't have any HBCUs in Baltimore County either. The questions you're bringing up about evaluation and also from a standpoint of audits or requests for the county IG to then report to someone, these are all referenced in other jurisdictions, but not in this one. Because as Councilman Patoka mentioned, this is just about an appointment process, which is what we ran into a few weeks ago. I support the intent of this legislation. I intend to support it and vote for it. But I go back to the fact that the questions you're asking are the right ones. The questions that we've been asking are the right ones. The reason there's so many amendments is because this wasn't part of the Blue Ribbon Commission's recommendations. And they're also, other than the 2 mandatory work sessions for this charter amendment, that's the only input that we've had from outside folks as well as from each other about fashioning another charter amendment that if we recognize we need to add another piece to, we will have to go through the same process again to add a charter amendment that the public will have to then vote for, which provides it and tying it to an election cycle. So I just wanted to point out the same thing that Councilman Katz mentioned, support the legislation. The reason we have so many amendments is because we've gone through this process here and haven't had a robust or even a recommendation from a work group to then discuss and have a close to working product for something as serious as changing the charter for all time. So thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman.
Councilman Katz.
Yeah, thank you. Another question for our council secretary. When would the question have to be passed in order for it to be on the ballot in November of 2026?
Most likely by July of 2026.
So I would assume that if someone or group was interested in adding on to the responsibilities of this group or creating another group to evaluate the job of the IG, that could be done between now and July, and it would still be one question on the ballot, not 2. Would that be correct?
It would be the same subject matter. I think we would have to work with the county attorney and the Board of Elections to parse through exactly what that would look like.
Right. So we would, okay, let's say we add those responsibilities, and as it's like an amendment to the charter question. So, okay, I think maybe we ought to take a look at that between now and next July. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Katz. Councilman Crandall.
Sure. Thanks, Mr. Chair. Mr. Secretary, to follow up on Councilman Katz's question, I'm thinking of things that we've required of different departments. For instance, the law office provides an annual report on legal settlements to us. We made that a law in the code, not in the charter, correct? So it seems like there are certain measures like asking for an evaluation of the Inspector General's performance on a yearly or whatever basis, that it could be, that could be done by inserting language into the code, not necessarily into the charter.
Again, I would defer to the county attorney. However, my view of it would be yes. Everything does not have to go into the charter. In fact, right now, there are parts of the Inspector General statute that are still in the county code, right. And then there are also parts that are in the county charter. So they can coexist. one thing to add, not to muddy the water or anything, but if this measure does pass and is passed by the voters, it will probably be necessary to do a little cleanup of the Inspector General statutes in the county code, because they'll be either somewhat conflicting or just not complementary of each other, because I think we're going to have to do that, but you don't want to put the cart before the horse. So, but yes, there are some things that could probably be addressed in the county code. Yes.
Mr. Crandall, if I may, I think it's something that I would be happy to look at and be able to get more information to you and to the rest of the members. As I look at the code currently, Section 3-14-112 deals with its review and results. It talks about quality assurance reviews. So we would have to see whether or not, if you all were looking to make a change, if that would be enough, or whether it would have to go further as far as a charter amendment. But that's something I'm happy to look at for you.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Now, I wanted to weigh in, and Councilman Crandall sort of beat me to the punch, but I was going along the same lines, thinking to myself that all of the codes and regulations, like any other department in Baltimore County government, would not have to end up in the charter, or else they would look the same. I think the charter is our founding principles, and we can put things in the charter, but I would think that there could be other things that we could put on any department that would not have to reside in the charter. That's just my 2 cents. And I just play an attorney on television. I don't even.
Well, I think that's why it would be important, Mr. Jones, for us to be able to take a look at that and be able to advise the council with that. It would be important to be able to look and see with this amendment and what could happen in next year, and look what we currently have as relates to performance reviews, and try to be able to synthesize that together for you and the members.
Anyone else? Got where we are. We're on the bill as amended. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Second from Councilman Catch. Mr. Secretary, please call the roll on the bill as 5025 as amended.
Mr. Ertel?
Aye.
Mr. Patoka?
Aye.
Mr. Catch?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
Mr. Marks?
Aye.
Mr. Crandall?
Aye.
Mr. Young?
Aye.
Okay.
Thank you, gentlemen.
5025 passes. And we're on to the next thing. So I think we're now at, where are we, miscellaneous business?
Miscellaneous business, Mr.
Okay,
Chairman?
can you, do you want to read those for us?
Yes, sir. Whenever a contract over $25,000 is awarded by a process other than formal competitive bid, it is required that a copy of the contract be given to the county council, and the nature and parties to that contract be announced by the secretary at the next legislative session following the award. There are 5 such agreements to be announced this evening. The first is a purchase order with TIC 84 Incorporated. This is for a full-body contraband detection scanner that will be utilized by the Department of Corrections to provide a comprehensive approach to detecting metallic and non-metallic objects by using X-ray beams. The total award is $142,500. Next is a purchase order with International ChemStar Incorporated for water testing and filtration at the North Point Government Center. Total award of $31,316. Next is a purchase order with N. Harris Computer Corporation for the support and maintenance for the Syscon Justice Systems Jail Management System. N. Harris Computer is the only provider for maintenance and support for their proprietary system. Total award of $173,856. Fourth is a supplier contract with NextTrack LLC. This supplier contract amendment is to extend the term for 3 years through July 30th, 2028, and the county's option for an additional 2 one-year renewals through July 30th, 2030. The county's vehicle fleet is equipped with GPS devices from NexTrack, and they provide vehicle tracking, dispatch, and reporting via a secure cloud-based platform. The estimated 5-year award total is $850,000. And finally, a supplier contract with Magnet Forensics Incorporated. This is a term agreement for yearly renewal of the premier software license for Gray Keys devices. These devices and software allow the forensic unit to specifically unlock Apple mobile devices, even if password protected. It is the only device that has this ability. The additional award amount is $180,030.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Secretary. I wanted to acknowledge we have some state legislature royalty in the House. My friend and colleague, Senator Jackson, is here with his son Chase, who we put to sleep. Chase, wake up. Come on. This is interesting stuff, Chase. Mr. Secretary, I think we missed Resolution 3925. Is that what we're on next?
Well, yes, we are now getting to the resolutions.
And 3825 is marked out on my sheet here.
Yes, so the next item of business, Mr. Chairman, is Resolution 38-25. This is a resolution to authorize the payment in lieu of property taxes or pilot with Towson Owner LLC. Mr. Hickey was here previously at the work session and explained that item, as well as the next one.
Right. So we're going to vote on those separately, I would assume.
I'm sorry?
We're going to vote on both
Yes, on
separately.
each one.
So on 3825, is there any questions?
I'm going to pick out your pump while I'm in here. Sorry.
There is an amendment to 38 as well.
I think Councilman Ketch has got some help coming in. Do you want to read the amendment?
The amendment is, it essentially changes or amends the program numbers in the second whereas clause. I won't read the numbers. There are 3 numbers in that second whereas clause that would be stricken and substituted with the 3 other numbers that are the accurate numbers.
Okay. Is there any questions about that amendment?
This is definitely a technical amendment.
Okay, so I'll unless there's questions, I'll motion to approve the amendment. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, thank you, Councilman Young. Mr. Secretary, you want to read the roll or call the roll on the amendment to Resolution 3825?
Yes, sir. Mr. Ertel?
Aye.
Mr. Crandall?
Aye.
Mr. Young?
Aye.
Mr. Patoka?
Aye.
Mr. Catch?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
Mr. Marks?
Aye.
Okay, amendment passes to 3825. Any questions from the members before we vote on Resolution 3825 as amended? I'll motion to approve. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Councilman Crandall. Mr. Secretary, please call the roll on Resolution 3825 as amended.
Mr. Ertel?
Aye.
Mr. Young?
Aye.
Mr. Patoka?
Aye.
Mr. Catch?
Unopportune time.
Mr. Catch?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
Mr. Marks? Aye. Mr. Crandall?
Aye. Okay. So Resolution 3825 passes, and then we're on to Resolution 3925, Holiday Heights.
Sir, this is very similar to the one you just heard. It's also to authorize a payment in lieu of property taxes or pilot with Holiday Heights MD TCLP. And again, Mr. Hickey was here at the work session and explained that item as well.
He's still here. I'm sorry, Mr. Hickey, I meant to cover this earlier. Sorry to prolong the night for you. And there's no amendment to this one, so is
That's
there a
right.
motion to approve? Councilman Young, do you want to?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Motion to approve.
Okay, I'll second it. Mr. Secretary, you want to call the roll on Resolution 3925?
Yes, Mr. Ertel.
Aye.
Mr. Pachelko.
Aye.
Mr. Catch.
Aye.
Mr. Jones.
Aye.
Mr. Marks.
Aye.
Mr. Crandall.
Aye.
Mr. Young.
Aye.
Okay, Resolution 3925 it passes. And we are moving on to Resolution 4025. This is from Councilman Marks, General Assembly Inspector General Oversight of BCPS. Councilman Marks, do you want to talk about this one?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Baltimore County Public School System is a massive organization that educates about 110,000 students at 174 school centers and other places. It has more than 20,000 employees and is the 22nd largest public school system in the United States, yet this entity falls outside the jurisdiction of the Baltimore County Inspector General. Yes, there is an Inspector General at the Maryland Department of Education who has statewide purview. That position was created in 2019 through the passage of Senate Bill 1030 as part of the Kirwan Commission's education reform funding recommendations. And yes, there is also a BCPS Office of Internal Audits that reports to the superintendent, but is not truly independent. This office refers back to the superintendent for follow-up. In fact, there was a review of the Office of Internal Audits by the Baltimore County Public Schools Operational Efficiency Review Report conducted by Public Works LLC in 2021 and 2022. And that report said the following: the BCPS Office of Internal Audit tends to focus its work on low-risk audits, such as school activity funds, while higher-risk areas of the system are not reviewed with the same frequency. In looking at this resolution, I think what we want are reviews that are more comprehensive, more independent, and parallel the oversight the Baltimore County Inspector General has over other county departments. Additionally, and I think this is very key, the internal audit investigations are confidential, while the state and county inspectors general are required to report to the public. This resolution urges the Maryland General Assembly to consider legislation that gives the Inspector General that very important authority. And I want to thank Senator Jackson for being here tonight. He's taken a leadership role with this. I also want to thank Delegate Naraki. He's been very active on this issue, and look forward to working with him and other state legislators on this issue. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Councilman Catch.
yeah, I'd like to be a co-sponsor.
Okay, thank you, Councilman Catch. Mr. Secretary, you got that? Councilman Jones.
Yes, I rise in opposition to the resolution. I mean, clearly, Councilman Marks, you made the case that the schools are very large. We give them 52 cents of our budget. They more than dwarf the number of county employees that we have in Baltimore County government. They have inspector generals at the state level. They have Office of Internal Audits. All of their money comes with stipulations. And I just think that our current Inspector General should be focused on Baltimore County government and not looking at the Baltimore County Public Schools. I don't think it's necessary, and I think our current Inspector General don't have the staff to take it. So I'm standing in opposition to it because I feel like it is a solution in search of a problem. Thank you.
Councilman Marks.
And furthermore, if I could just add one more thing, there's a reason why the school system is a quasi-state organization, to keep, for the most part, local politics out of our schools. We need not publicize or politicize our school system. Thank you.
Councilman Marks. And then Councilman Pachelko.
We're not talking about politics, Councilman Jones. We're talking about getting rid of fraud, waste, and abuse. There's a clear difference between the Office of Internal Audit and the County Inspector General. The Office of Internal Audit reports to the Board of Education. It's focused on planned financial and operational audits, those routine automatic audits that come up. It has limited enforcement authority, and its transparency really depends on the BCTS leadership. And when there are investigations done, they don't have to be publicized. Our county inspector general is fully independent. Has investigative authority that includes subpoenas and referrals, is mandated to report publicly, and has a broad mandate to look at fraud, waste, and abuse. So there's a clear difference between the Office of Internal Audit and the County Inspector General. I appreciate your comments. And I've said that this is not directed at the current superintendent, who I think has done a good job in a lot of respects. And I mentioned the school bus area.
10 minutes.
Great job at that. But I think, we need to look beyond her. And I think it makes sense to have an inspector general with some permanence who can look at the functions of the school system.
Mr. Chairman.
Councilman Patoka and then Councilman Catch. And then Councilman Jones may want to speak as well again.
So thank you, Mr. Chair. And Councilman Marks, I appreciate your comments where you said we're looking at the function, because in our jobs, when we review something, it's easy to see the people in those jobs. And, if we're looking at Superintendent Rogers, because she currently holds the job, and we're looking at Inspector General Madigan, because she currently holds the job. But our role is more so to look at the function rather than the people who are currently in those jobs. And so I'm going to support this resolution, because I do think that our role is to look at the function, and 52 cents on the dollar is a significant amount of money that and the school system is autonomous. It's an autonomous entity. We have to maintain our maintenance of effort level, but we don't really have any say beyond that. So why not have a different set of eyes working with that autonomous entity that has more than half of the tax dollars, and with the responsibility, the generational responsibility of educating our children. So thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Councilman Patoka. Councilman Catch?
Yes, I'd like to bring up the fact that there's about, a couple $2 billion that this county council appropriates to the school system. And, we get calls from constituents asking us, well, how's the money been spent? They hear things that may be happening, and it is not a good feeling to have to tell them that state law prevents the county from auditing the school system, et cetera. So I think for openness and transparency, I think that we do have a responsibility to initiate efforts to make the school system accountable. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Catch. Councilman Young?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Jones, are you?
Councilman, I know. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I know we've talked about this. I know we brought it up last meeting too. We were discussing a resolution. And I think we've gotten a message or an email from the IG mentioning that the county does have the ability to audit, and that we're talking about multiple things here. When the discussion at the work session was talking about budgets and reviewing of budgets, which could be part of an IG's investigation, but at the end of the day, like when there's a request or there's a complaint, allowing for the IG to have the ability to investigate a complaint that currently doesn't exist. So I just wanted to clarify that the county does seem to have the ability to audit. That doesn't necessarily mean that the agency or the department has the capacity to do so at the moment. I'm not going to get too much into the weeds because this is just a resolution. This is just a resolution that is asking the legislature to take up an issue that has been taken up before. And as I mentioned, I was chairing the Baltimore County delegation we brought up the last time. I just would like to point out, since we are about to vote on this and we're asking the legislature to do something that would, in some members' opinions, benefit the county, that we're taking our role to ask our colleagues and our state partners to do something that they either can choose to do on their own, but we're asking them to do so. Where just last week we were, I would say, strongly sharing our opinions on them coming to our chamber and giving their opinions to us on matters that affect everybody, including their constituents. So I just want to point out that we're making a resolution that's requesting our partners in the legislature to do something, while also oftentimes when we disagree with our state partners when they come before us, stating from this dais our discontent with their purpose and intent for being here. So thank you for letting me say at least that part about the juxtaposition of what we're asking them to do, and when they come here sharing their opinion, how we're responding to them as well. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Councilman Young. Councilman Jones.
I'm going to, I guess, close out with this. I just think that the current superintendent is doing a wonderful job in terms of openness and transparency, and I don't think it's necessary. I think our current Inspector General should focus on the Baltimore County government, and I think that when we ask her or our current Inspector General to somehow take on the schools, it's going to require at least a 50% increase in staff just to do that job. So I don't think it's necessary, and I think the schools are currently have enough oversight in terms of auditors and Inspector General by the state. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Jones. Any others? So is there a motion to approve? Second. Councilman or Senator Jackson, did you want to say anything about this?
I'll second.
Okay. All right. Mr. Secretary, you want to call the roll?
Mr. Ertel?
Aye.
Mr. Marks?
Aye.
Mr. Patoka?
Aye.
Mr. Young?
Aye.
Mr. Catch?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Nay.
Mr. Crandall?
Aye.
Okay, resolution 4025 passes, and
Thank you all.
yeah, thank you. And then we have one more,
Yes, next,
two more. Sorry, one more resolution.
correct. Our next item is Resolution 4125. This resolution is sponsored by Chairman Ertel, and this resolution would authorize a partial refund to Russell Towns, who, as a blind person, is entitled, and being partially exempt, is entitled to a refund of property taxes.
Okay, and I will motion to approve this.
Second.
Wash myself.
Secretary, please call the roll on resolution 4125 from Mr. Towns.
Mr. Ertel?
Aye.
Mr. Crandall?
Aye.
Mr. Young?
Aye.
Mr. Patoka?
Aye.
Mr. Catch?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
Mr. Marks?
Aye.
Okay, so resolution 4125 passes, and I think that's all.
We just have a number of items for you to
Intro
read
items?
for introduction.
Okay, do you want to read those,
Yes, sir.
Mr. Secretary?
The first is Resolution 42-25. This would authorize a payment in lieu of property taxes or pilot with Melvin Park Owner LP. These are, again, all for introduction only this evening. Next is Resolution 4325, approval of loan, Turner Station Preservation LLC. Next is Resolution 4425 to, again, authorize payment in lieu of property taxes or pilot with Turner Station Preservation LLC. Next is a Resolution 4525 sponsored by Councilman Ertel. This resolution seeks to amend the boundary of the Towson Commercial Revitalization District. And finally, Resolution 46-25, sponsored by Councilman Patoka. This would seek council approval of the designation of Pikesville as a sustainable community. Thank you, sir.
Is there any further business to come before council?
Your microphone.
Sorry. Is there any further business to come before the council tonight, Mr. Secretary?
There's no further business, Mr. Chair.
All right. Is there a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Okay, meeting is adjourned. As is customary, anyone who has registered to speak online prior to the meeting, or in person for that matter, is allowed 3 minutes to speak. I want to address this speaking. So last week we had a 6.5-hour meeting, work session. There were a few different people that complained about the length of the meeting. We had several bills that had a lot of speakers, one of which was redistricting. And I have spent a lot of time in the pews as a community person. When I became chair, one of the things that kind of irritated me as a community person was sometimes you're up on the, at the witness stand speaking and you're trying to finish a thought, and different councils over the years would be very rigid about cutting you off immediately at 3 minutes. I didn't want to do that. I think I've given maybe a much longer chain than is probably advisable. But unfortunately, because of the complaints that I had last week, and some of the people are here tonight who complained, the future will be that you get 3 minutes, and if you go over 3 minutes, I will continually hound you until you're off the witness stand. Sorry, not the dais. I hate to be that way, but we're trying to get everybody their opportunity to speak. Hopefully you can get it in 3 minutes. Sometimes we'll ask questions which might help us if council members feel compelled, but I hope no one takes it personally. We're not trying to rush you off, but I think we have several speakers tonight as well. We had a few that I think left because of whatever bill they were associated with. But Ms. Belcastro, do you want to call the speakers, and hopefully we can get everybody in and get everybody out in a decent hour tonight?
Certainly, Mr. Chair. Our first speaker this evening is Erica Ma, who is here in person, followed by Scott Katerides, who is also here in person.
Ms. Ma, are you here? Come on up. Ms. Ma, there's a button on the mic when you sit down. Just hit that, you'll see the green light come on, and then you're live.
Thank you so much. My name is Erica Ma, and I'm a taxpayer, parent, and teacher in Baltimore County. I was coming to speak in favor of the IG resolution, but seeing as you passed it, I want to thank you very much for passing it. And while I'm here as an individual, I also did want you to know that the TABCO Board of Directors had discussed this resolution and had voted to support it. And so our teachers stand with you too, and thank you very much for looking out for half of our budget and our children.
Thank you, Mrs. Ma. We appreciate you being here.
Thank you very much. And thank you, TABCO.
Yes, thank you.
Our next speaker is Scott Katerides, who is here in person, followed by Robert Bennett Jr., who is also here in person.
Katerides, how are you?
Good. How is everybody?
Pronouncing that correctly?
Yes, you did. I want to also echo what Erica said. I also am a teacher in Baltimore County. I've taught for 27 years and dedicated most of my life to the county. Thank you, Senator Jackson now. Thank you. He's an alumni of my school and a good friend of our school. I would also like to thank Delegate Naraki, who are both sponsoring this bill. If I may, I had a whole speech, but I won't go through the whole thing. I will pull out a couple of key points to address some of the things that were said during discussion. So I have never spoke out until last year, and I started speaking out during the budgetary process when the money was not there to pay teachers. Never wanted to speak out, never planned to speak out. But I also want to echo what Councilman Mark said in 2021, efficiency report by Public Works LLC. They found problems with financial management, purchasing, and risk management, and those were significant problems that they highlighted. That was almost 4 years ago. Those problems still exist for the most part to this day. If you happen to read the paper, and I know people don't like Chris Papst, but if you read his story today, he definitely points out the number of cases of fraud, waste, and abuse. And if my memory serves me correctly, last year or the year before, it was reported that I think from January 2020 to March 23, BCPS paid $726,568.34 to former employees for 2 years and didn't know that they were paying that money out. So that is another reason why we need oversight. And I hear, Councilman Jones, I hear respectfully what you're saying. There's a lot of people, there's a lot of oversight, but the problem is the OIGE, which Maryland has, which is Mr. Henry, he's responsible for overseeing 24 districts, and I don't think he can possibly oversee 24 districts, like, because he doesn't have enough manpower. And to your point, Councilman, about like the cost, if we follow the model that, I gotta put my glasses on, I can't see. If we follow the model, I have it right here, just bear with me one quick second. Here it is, Inspector Jennifer, okay. And I want to point out, his team does do a good job, like Inspector Henry, but there's just too much for them to do. Estimates suggest that the OIG's office may need 5 new staff members. That's what you were alluding to, Councilman, is that we would need a new staff member. But what Prince George's did is they addressed the issue by taking the existing inspectors they had within our county school system and gave them through the Inspector General's office. So they didn't lose their job. They just moved the manpower over to the Inspector General's office. We could do the same thing in Baltimore County. They've also done it in, I think, Montgomery. Montgomery's also done it. And they're like for like comparisons to Baltimore County. Last point, the reason that Baltimore County needs more oversight is because, as you've mentioned, it's the largest portion of like our budget, but BCPS doesn't have a chief financial officer. Any good business has a chief financial officer. We do not. Time and again, BCPS financial data is inaccurate, misleading, or untruthful. It's nearly impossible to follow the BCPS budget book due to its vagueness. The approved budget displayed to the public doesn't match the budget that board members have in their budget books. Despite allocating money in the operating budget, money can be moved between any of those 13 categories in the operating budget, and they do not have to say where they're moving it. They don't need county executive oversight. They don't need council oversight. They don't need any oversight. They can just move it. And last but not least, the board has disenfranchised public comment by moving 10 speakers to 5. And there's no rhyme or reason to how people get selected. If you're a good speaker, you don't get selected again. So thank you very much, gentlemen. Thank you. Thank you.
Are you a Falcon?
Yes. I am an overly Falcon.
I understand.
Dr. Sample trained me well in data. Thank you, everybody.
So you graduated from there as well?
No,
Oh,
I did not, but I've been there for 13 years.
Yeah.
What do you teach, Scott?
Social studies.
I figured, you know what? I was guessing and I thought, he's a social studies teacher.
Never wanted to be in this position, ever. But thank you all for everything you do. I really do. And even if I may disagree with some of you, I still respect you. You're all likable in my book.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
True social studies teacher.
All right, Ms. Belcastro next speaker.
Certainly. Next is Mr. Bennett, Robert Bennett, followed by George DiPietro, who is also here in person.
Mr. Bennett, I believe, is left. Unless he's
Left, he's
I
Bill
think all the
45. We actually have 3 people
All the speakers for 4525
have left.
have left, yes.
Okay.
And they were all in person, so we know they're not here.
So that would bring us to.
Make sure they're not home online.
That would bring us to Sharonda Hoffman. If you give me one moment, I'm going to pull her up. She said she was online.
Okay, Ms. Huffman, are you online?
Yes, she is.
You can go to someone else. I'm in the building, so I'd rather come upstairs. Is that okay?
Do you want me to come back to you, Ms. Hoffman?
Yes, please. I'll be coming up in a second. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay. She's in the building. Ms. Belcastro, next speaker then.
Speaker is Linda Dorsey Walker, who is here in person.
Ms. Dorsey Walker, how are you?
Good evening. I'm Linda Dorsey Walker. I wanted to talk about some comments that were made last week about the fairness in the process for looking at the map, the redistricting map choice. The Woodlawn Approach map was introduced in January of this year. The map that was eventually approved by the commission was introduced on my birthday, June 5th. It received 10 minutes of discussion. No, it wasn't even 10 minutes of discussion. The vote took place 10 minutes after it was introduced. 10 minutes only. And there are people in this room who have continually said that it was unfair for you all to choose a map option that had been discussed since January and remained the same on the west side. And instead, they have said that a map that had no public hearing, as opposed to the Woodlawn map that had 4 public hearings, and I see eyes being rolled right now because they don't want to hear it. They don't want to accept the fact that what you did in choosing the Woodlawn Approach for the west side was appropriate. And it's not challengeable because it did not violate any redistricting requirements. It followed all the generally accepted redistricting practices. And again, while I may have misstated about who made the comment was made that this was a lower risk map because it did adhere so closely to things like standard deviation, which is only 5% in the case of Woodlawn, but 14.2% in terms of the map that the commission approved. How do you threaten to take Baltimore County government to court and sue them when you are asking for a map that is not within the standard deviation range allowed by law? I've heard person after person say since the very beginning, if they don't choose our map option, which has changed over time from 315 to 225 and other map options, then we're going to take them to court and Baltimore County is going to have to pay $1.3 million again. Boy, that's presumptuous. That presumes that the same very friendly judge that forced Baltimore County to pay for both attorney fees will be the judge the next time. If a different judge handles it, I think Baltimore County is within its right to point out the arrogance that has followed for months of people saying that this bill will be passed on without question to Baltimore County. If a suit is filed, I hope the parties involved have deep enough pockets to pay their own bill this time.
Thank you, Ms. Dorsey Walker. And for the record, Baltimore County did not pay the legal fees of, we actually won that case, and and we the ACLU and the NAACP asked for fees to be paid anyway. And I believe a judge, Mr. Secretary, you can correct me if I'm wrong, or Mr. Benjamin, there was an agreement that was not going to happen.
The issue of fees was dismissed by the district court based upon the U.S. Supreme Court ruling in the Steny case. So the issue of fees had been filed initially by the ACO and the plaintiffs, but ultimately that was withdrawn.
Thank you for bringing that up.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Ms. Belcastro, Ms. Hoffman is here.
I was going to call Ms. Sharonda Hoffman, followed by Danny Blount, who is on virtually.
Okay, great. Good evening, Ms. Hoffman. How are you?
Well, thank you. Good evening, Councilman. We need to be honest about redistricting. The legal precedent was already set in 2022. You might not have won the legal fees, but if the court has decided that you had to put a stay and undo a new map, that's called losing the case. And the case was actually was with precedent. I mean, they could reopen the case. So all that doesn't make sense to me because if your map was legal, that you never had to redo it. Now, at this point, you're either making these things up or you're trying to set a legal precedent on taxpayers' dimes. It is that you want Baltimore County to be a test case. Is that what it is? The chair wasn't here when this all was happening, but the open seat he won became the test for a BIPOC district. So it doesn't feel good to have that seat questioned or threatened, I get it. Former County Executive Kevin Cabinets gave up his secure council seat to make room for a majority Black councilmanic district. If no one wants to share power that leaves Black and brown residents of Baltimore County bamboozled, and I say bamboozled, because the less people know, the easier it is to spin and dismiss voices like mine as partisan or outsiders. That's not leadership. That's manipulation. And yes, some Black people are okay with it, but that's no different from the civil rights movement, when some went along with the status quo. So since we are one day after Labor Day, Essex was founded in 1809 on the backs of enslaved people. More than 2 centuries later, their legacies are still being silenced, this time not through change, but through maps. The truth is, there could have been opportunity to have more accountability. There is a thing called mapping tools like District Builder or District R that could have let residents draw their fair maps. You even have a bill to make in-person meetings only because no one wants to learn technology. So I ask, did you ask the county executive to put money in the budget for a possible lawsuit? That money could have been spent in other ways, like the flooding in District 7. There was no point of even having a redistricting commission if we're going to ignore what they said. That was all propaganda. If you're just going to make up something, we still don't know how you came up with the map. I think Councilman Young said, no one's told us how we did the map. That 10 minutes you spent last time you introduced the map on Ms. Dorsey's birthday could have been an opportunity to tell us how you came up with it. So at this point, I'm tired of the gestures. They're all performative. You're not really giving us favors. What we basically have with this new map is we're giving 52% of the population, 88% of the political power. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Hoffman. Ms. Belcastro, next speaker.
Next speaker is Danny Blount, followed by David Semeski.
Mr. Blount?
Yes, good evening, good evening. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can. Coming to us from the Central Committee?
Pardon me?
Coming to us from the Central Committee?
No, I'm coming to you as a taxpayer in Baltimore County.
Okay, good.
Yes. Well, what I just want to say is you guys talked about it this evening about transparency. That's what I want to talk about. Transparency from the very beginning of this process, being transparent to the citizens of Baltimore County when you guys make a decision, when you guys did a map behind closed doors, when you guys chose a map without it being something that the residents of Baltimore County had an opportunity to look at. So transparency is a powerful word, and it carries a whole lot of meaning and integrity behind it. So that's just what I want to point out. The integrity of Baltimore County lies in the hands of you guys on the county council. That's all I have to say.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Blount. Ms. Belcastro, next speaker.
Our next speaker is David Semeski, who is here in person, followed by Linda Semeski, who is also here in person.
David Semeski is my husband, but his backache is in these chairs, so he had to go back to the car.
Okay, come on up, Ms. Semeski.
All right, Ms. Semeski, good to see you.
I have a quick procedural question. If I ask you all a clarification question, does that count as my time?
Pretty much, yes, but you ask the quick clarifying question.
Well, I just had a quick question. I would like to know, when Baltimore County Code created the Department of Code Enforcement, what is its purpose?
Does anyone want to tackle that? Code enforcement is basically there to deal with code violations in the county code. Most of it has to do with quality of life issues. It is a complaint-driven, generally complaint-driven unless it's a community sweep, in the sense that our officers don't roam around, they're not.
Right, but are they expected to enforce the code?
They are there to write a violation, and then it goes to the administrative law judge if you choose to take it to the administrative law judge, and then the administrative law judge will make a decision on what.
Okay. Well, we've been through that process. We've been through that process multiple times. And what we're finding is that it appears that there is a problem with code enforcement. Number one, it's so segmented. If you call and you file a code complaint and you file it to the code complaint number, then that is sent to code complaints. But if it's a sediment control issue, then it goes to sediment control, who's supposed to enforce that complaint. When it's permits, it goes to permits and processing. And they all do this, and nobody does anything. And they do not enforce their code, and they avoid complaints. They don't document complaints. And this has been a consistent problem, specifically with one large property on Glen Falls Road, which is in the Finksburg area. It has been acquired, and it's called Rancho Sosa, and it's got 20 acres. And actually, the main owner is Russian, and she presents herself as Hispanic. And then if we file any complaints or say anything, we're racists. And that's not the case. But this facility, the biggest problem we've had with them is code violation, having 1,000-person parties. It's RC8 zoning. We're a protected watershed. There are all sorts of restrictions on that property. One of the biggest things we've dealt with now is violation, but the biggest one is they have brought in up to 1,000 large truckloads of undocumented fill, unpermitted fill, and have graded. They've had stop work orders since 2023. They do what they want to do, and sediment control did nothing for 2 years. Finally, they're starting to actually enforce some complaints. They've won multiple violations against this party. Maryland Department of the Environment finally got involved, and after 2 weeks of investigation instead of 2 years, they came in and said, you have to haul all that fill dirt out of here. These people built a mansion, a huge house, about just under 6,000 square feet. They built other buildings that were allegedly barns, but they were actually for these huge 1,000-person parties that they were holding and advertising multiple statewide. And despite report after report, one of the things we want to see is we want to see a bill amendment to put timelines so that corrective actions cannot be delayed for years. We've had corrective actions pending for years on the sediment control piece. They should require also, MDE came in, said that dirt needs to be hauled out. Baltimore County will not enforce that. Baltimore County is saying, oh, and trying to get the state to change its mind and not haul out that property and that fill dirt. So somebody needs to tell code enforcement they need to enforce the code. What they're actually doing is they believe their mission is to help retroactively bring these people up to code. They've built an unpermitted huge barn facility on that property, and they are now, Baltimore County's working to try to go backwards. They built it without the proper permits of many different kinds. They didn't get electrical, they didn't get grading, they didn't get environmental. Now, retroactive, the county's going to help them get a permit. They can't meet the standards that are required, like having an MHIC contractor and having permits in advance. But Baltimore County seems to think that its job is to retroactively modify code and let them get a permit, and then everything will be fine.
Ms. Szymanski, I believe your councilman is Councilman Jones. Councilman Jones, did you want to?
We've been battling this for quite some time as a community, and it's been really, really distressing. I ended up in the hospital nearly having a stroke over this, and when we had the last hearing. And finally, we have one inspector that's helping us, but his boss keeps stonewalling us. And then they do this. Environmental has refused to go in. They keep passing it off to sediment control, even when this party dug up their pond, which is in a protected area. And environmental should care. We should care about our environment. I've lived on that property. It's been in our family 50 years. I helped build that house. I inherited it when my parents died and we moved out there. And it's lovely, but they're contaminating our wells potentially. And the response I got from the head of sediment control was, "That's your personal problem, Ms. Semeski." And that to me was offensive, because and our stream runs into the Liberty Reservoir, and it is a tributary of the Patapsco. Yet these people are allowed to bring undocumented, some of which came from SHA property, State Highway Administration, where people were supposed to have removed that fill and take it to be clean. That's my understanding. I was not a witness to this. That is what I have been advised. So therefore, when the Department of Environment for the MDE came out, they said, look, there's so much fill been dumped here, we don't know we could do core samples, but a core sample could miss a potentially toxic piece that was dumped over here. So that's kind of where we are. We need some help with that, and to get them to do and force these people legally to do something.
Mrs. Szymanski, thank you so much for coming in this evening. I will be contacting you tomorrow to get more information on this issue, because this is the first I heard of it, but I assure you that your problem is our problem.
It is. And
your problem is my problem.
And
we will do what we can to help you out.
The owner has been indicted for PPP fraud, and she used to give up this property in lieu of $1.5 million as part of her agreement, her plea agreement to plead guilty. But they still continue to do this on the property to earn money.
I will call you tomorrow.
Councilman Jones, other council members. Ms. Szymanski was kind enough, she did reach out to us. She had several videos and photos of this issue.
I think we got them.
And I forwarded it to every council member's main council email. So I just wanted to let you know that you do have, that was sent to you earlier today. So if you want to check some of the photos and stuff, they're there.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Next speaker, Ms. Belcastro.
Yes. Our next speaker is Gloria Kelly, who is here in person. I see Ms. Kelly is online, but she registered as to be in person.
Okay. Ms. Kelly, are you there?
Ms. Kelly?
Ms. Kelly? All right, you want to, maybe we'll go back to Ms. Kelly if maybe she's having dinner. A late dinner. How about next speaker?
Our next speaker is Mary Harvey, who is here in person.
Ms. Harvey, how are you? Thanks for joining us in person. Looks like you're here to talk about the same issue.
Yes, I am. My husband and I have lived in our house for 45 years, okay? My problem is code enforcement inaction. I did send pictures tonight, but I don't see them. On the website, it says to maintain and improve standard of community, but I beg to differ. Our neighbor has a pattern of being irresponsible, arrogant, direct and deliberate permit disregard. It's had multiple permit and code violations. Multiple hearings, which a lot of them get postponed for some reason or another, and they string everybody along. They have a landfill. They have been filling this thing from Beltway projects. They did have a stop order at one time, but they keep filling. And they built a party event building and a pavilion on top of part of the filling. They label it as a barn for their animals. Would you like to live next to a barn? Not me. They also have a pond, which they have rebuilt, and they have used some filling in that area. And that is part of the Liberty Reservoir and part of my well. They have a photography business. They have a horse, which they use in their pictures. Does this horse have ever seen a vet? Does it have vaccines? And the children on it, when they raise up, they don't wear a helmet. They have a large fence along the property with flags. They had a dead cow in their field for 2 days. They've had multiple fires in their forest around, which also connects to my backyard and my forest. The fire company has been called several times of them. I even called them. They have a gun range in which they shoot constantly, although since they've been declared guilty of COVID frauds, that hasn't been so bad. They had a trailer park with multiple campers. They have large, noisy carnivals with food, liquor, bouncy bounce, horses that you can ride on, which they require pay for parking. They had the street lined up with long lines. People were turning around in our yards. They were parking in our driveways. They even parked across the street in the cemetery. They tried to get a kennel license, but the state refused that. They have been convicted of COVID fraud, over $1.5 million. They have been out, intimidated many of our neighbors, harassing them for filing code complaints and calling the police about any of their parties and loud noises. One of the neighbors that they have harassed is over 80 years old and was born and raised on that road. I feel that the code people are incompetent, ineffective in their job, and lack any type of leadership. What can you do for us?
Wow, Ms.
I will call you tomorrow as well.
Thank you.
Ms. Hardy, can I ask a question? So what do they seem to be doing there? Are they
Make money.
Is it like
It's
a catering type thing, or they're just having, you're saying there, I'm just curious, like, are these paid parties? Like, what exactly do you think's going on there?
I can send you some pictures.
Okay.
They have like 20 acres, 18, 20 acres. And they have tents, and they have vendors come in, and they sell stuff, and they have bouncy bounce. Kids are in the bouncy bounce.
It's like a festival.
Pardon?
It's like a festival of some kind.
It's like a carnival. Like I said, it was like a carnival. They don't have, the only rides they really have are the horses. They don't have a Ferris wheel yet. But they are out there to make money.
Yes.
I have many pictures of their.
Sounds like a disaster.
It is a disaster. Many people, we've called the police, we've called 911. People have called them, people have gone over to their house to complain about the noise and the parties and all the traffic and everything. And they did have a hearing, and they are quieter this year, but they still have parties, and they still make a lot of noise.
All right, well, we're sorry you're dealing with that. I'm sure Councilman Jones will
Give you a call tomorrow.
get some good
Okay,
answers
thank
for you. Next speaker, Ms. Belcastro.
Certainly. Our next speaker is Peter Richkus, who is here in person. Is Mr. Myers here? He was also Bill 45. He testified at the work session. I don't.
I think he's for 4525. He was.
I think he's gone as well.
Yeah, I think he left as well. So
then it would be Tiffany LaShawn Frempong, and she is on virtually.
Okay. Ms. Richkus, whenever you're ready. Thank you. How are you tonight?
Fine. Thank you, Chairman Hertel and members of the council. The fact that the 5525 map packs black voters into just 2 districts is clear. For the record, I'm Peter Richkus, a resident of District 6 and part of the Baltimore County Coalition for Fair Maps. Council Bill 5525's own voting age, population, and demographic summary, also known as Exhibit B, states the facts plainly. The map creates 2 heavily packed black districts on the west side, while leaving 78% of council seats securely white. District 2 is drawn at 89.23 minority with 74.75% black, and District 3 at 76.04% minority with 60.12% Black. Courts have consistently recognized this as packing, concentrating minority voters into a few districts to dilute their influence elsewhere. Baltimore County was just 52% white in the 2020 census, a percentage that has dropped since. Yet 55-25 guarantees that minority communities on the east side have no realistic chance to elect a representative of their choice. Even on the west side, voices outside the two super-packed districts will be diluted. Yes, some groups may applaud the 55-25 map as it stands, but the majority of Baltimore County's BIPOC residents, roughly 30% of the total voting age population, will be effectively shut out of a fair map. Baltimore County residents need to be clear that 55-25 is not based on the extensive public input provided over months of public hearings. It's a map built on exclusion. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Ms. Richkes. And Ms. Belcastro, I know you had called, she's online. Next. Tiffany LaShawn Frempong. School board member.
Ms. Frempong?
Ms. Frempong.
Can you hear me?
How are you?
Yes.
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Good. Good to have you here tonight.
Thank you. I'll go ahead and start. Statements have been made that with over half the county's budget invested in our schools, independent oversight is essential to building public trust, safeguarding taxpayer resources, and ensuring that every dollar serves students. This is about fiscal responsibility, ethical governance, and transparency. I completely agree with those statements. Baltimore County Council Resolution 40-25 has been introduced and now passed at this point by Councilman David Marks to extend the jurisdiction of the IG to BCPS. But it's redundant and actually a waste of our local taxpayer dollars when there are existing federal, state, and local entities that currently audit and or review Baltimore County Public Schools. Following are examples of these audits and reviews. BCPS has an annual comprehensive financial report, an annual single audit based on federal grants that are received, and an annual interagency Medicaid monitoring team audit for third-party billing. Grants that BCPS receives have annual program reviews and monitoring. This includes the money that the system receives from Title I, Title II, or Title IV funds, to name a few. Every 2 years, starting in December 2024, BCPS will be subject to an MSDE audit of state aid programs, including Blueprint Concentration of Poverty. Legislative audits are to take place every 6 years, but BCPS has historically been audited every 5 years. Other audits and ongoing audits include those by Haggerty Consulting, which began in April 2025 and is ongoing, an MSDE Blueprint Expenditure Audit Engagement that began on December 2024 and is ongoing. The Interagency Commission on School Construction, or IAC, monitors spending and provides oversight related to BCPS school building and construction. For the purpose of time, I will stop there with individually identifying audits. However, since 2020, BCPS has had about 23 external audits. This number does not include the number of grant reviews. BCPS is an entity that is non-revenue generating. This is not the Wild Wild West where money is received and spent without accounting or accountability. BCPS even has an internal office of audit to investigate waste, abuse, and fraud. Our lead auditor, Ms. Barr, is highly respected in her field and across the state for her work. If there are concerns or issues that currently come into the IG's office, Ms. Madigan refers those items to BCPS audit Ms. Barr for investigation. The recent investigation that was highlighted in the news shows that Ms. Barr's office is doing exactly what our office is supposed to do. The mission of our office is to provide independent, objective, high-quality audit and investigatory services to strengthen the integrity, quality, and effectiveness of the school system. Audit reports and findings are public. They are posted online. So there we have it, independent oversight It is essential to building public trust, safeguarding taxpayer resources, and ensuring that every dollar serves students. This is about fiscal responsibility, ethical governance, and transparency, which already currently exists. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Mark?
I think this is important because the Board of Education will be considering the same type of resolution we just passed. Ms. Frempong is a member of the Board of Education. So, I mean, I talked about the differences between the Office of Internal Audit and the Office of the Inspector General, right? The key thing here is that the investigations done by internal audit are not publicized, and the Inspector General's are. I mean, I think there's a real key difference here.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
The last audit that was conducted there was a public report on it. On BC.
There are automatic audits.
Right, okay.
That's the difference.
I got you.
There are automatic audits done by BCPS. You can go to their website.
Right.
But investigations, to the best of my knowledge, are not.
No, I see what you're saying, sir. Just wanted to clarify.
Right.
Just wanted to clarify that some things are public, some things aren't.
Right.
And we have no control over the determination of what is and what isn't.
Thank you.
Okay. Ms. Belkester, next speaker.
Next speaker is Fred Homan, who is here in person, followed by John Brewington, who is on virtually.
Mr. Homan, how are you tonight? We're good. Think we can get this all in 3 minutes?
I probably can.
Okay.
I don't know if you'll answer any of my questions, though. I mean, last time I was here, I provided you documentation that IG Madigan had buried a whistleblower complaint that exposed violations of law by members of the Ochesky administration. Now, listening tonight, I didn't hear a thing from you that addressed that. So that written whistleblower complaints can go to the Inspector General. The Inspector General can throw them in the trash if they want, and nobody will know about it. That's the way it is right now, correct? You haven't done anything to fix that. I just want to be sure before I move on to the next item.
Correct.
That's correct, right?
That is correct.
Okay, so you're comfortable with that, okay.
I don't know that we're comfortable with it, but.
Well, you're not doing anything about it, so you must be comfortable with it. But let me
If a whistleblower goes to HR, they have procedures they have to follow as well, I believe.
What are you talking about HR? We're talking about the Inspector General.
Well, you're saying a whistleblower, which would theoretically be an
Inspector
employee.
General. Look at the Inspector General's website. She asked for people to contact her.
Okay.
And my only point is so the whistleblower can send in, like I gave to you last week, a whistleblower sent in a 9-page whistleblower report 3 years ago, clearly exposed a violation of the law. And not only that, but it exposed an attempt to defraud the retirement system, and nothing happened. The Inspector General read it and made a choice not to investigate it. Are you looking at me puzzled? It's all in the documentation I gave you last week.
What if she investigated it and turned it into the administration and they told her not to publish it or threatened her job?
Is that what you're telling me happened?
Oh, I don't know, but.
Well, then doesn't that even make it more important?
Absolutely.
That the written documentation be accessible by someone else so they can see what's happened? I mean, if written whistleblower complaints went to a resource that could access them to make sure that the right thing happened, right? But nothing happened. There's nothing now. And now you're introducing the fact that the administration buried it.
I don't know.
Which, by the way, may be what I'm about to talk about
That was
next.
merely a theory, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. Right, really a theory. Well, let me talk about the banner for a second, and I'll be as quick as I can on this one. Right. The banner talked about an interesting situation. The Inspector General uses authority that you gave her back in March of 2024 with a law firm that's working directly with her. She files a lawsuit against a former employee. Right. The former employee ends up being paid $100,000 after she filed the lawsuit against him. Now, that's pretty remarkable, and it's generated a lot of conversation among lawyers in various jurisdictions about how the hell could that happen. Well, there are only a couple of ways that could happen. Right? Either things blew up on the Inspector General in the middle of her lawsuit, or the defendant countersued. And as a result of the countersuit, the county attorney was invited into the discussion. Because originally, you gave her authority under the law, you gave her authority under March of 24 only to deal with conflicts of interest between the Inspector General, the Office of Law, and the administration, nothing else. So therefore, it's illogical that Mr. Benjamin would have filed the lawsuit. The lawsuit was filed by the law firm you allowed the Inspector General to hire. Either that went bust and the Inspector General needed Mr. Benjamin to bail her out, or the defendant countersued, which invited Mr. Benjamin into the process because they were looking for money. Now, what's happened now is that Mr. Benjamin has proceeded to ask the judge to seal the file. And not only seal the file, but to insulate the file through a court directive not to recognize a request under the Maryland Public Information Act to find out what happened. So let me tell you what's going on here.
Mr. Homan, your 3 minutes are a minute over.
Yep, and I'm about to leave, Mr. Boswick, as soon as I get out the fact that the former
So your 3 minutes are over.
I'm listening to the chairman, Mr. Boswick, and unless you've been elected, you're not it.
Mr. Homan, can you summarize and finish up here?
The former employee was Pat Murray, Chief of Staff to County Executive of Chesky. He was sued. He most likely filed a countersuit. That invited Mr. Benjamin into the process. Mr. Benjamin not only settled and had him sign a non-disclosure agreement and gave him $100,000, but he went to the court and asked him to seal the record and to keep anyone from getting access to it under an MPIA. Now, Mr. Benjamin is the county attorney. He's not the county executive, and he's not the county counsel. Right?
You're now at 5 minutes, Mr. Homan.
Yes, sir, Mr. Boswick. Right? He did not act on his own. I am here tonight asking the county executive to stop this stuff, to intercede and to release that information, and I'm asking you all who know exactly what I said tonight is the truth, to get behind her and have her do that. Because otherwise, there is absolutely no point of the word transparency coming out of any of your mouths, because it's just the opposite of what's happening here.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Homan. We appreciate it.
Our next speaker is, John Brewington, who is on virtually. Mr. Brewington?
Yes, good afternoon. Good evening.
You may begin your testimony when you're ready.
Oh, thank you. My name is John Brewington. I'm pastor of Lockern Presbyterian Church, located at 3800 Patterson Avenue in West Baltimore. And the church has been part of the Lockern community since 1946. And I come tonight in favor of the Woodlawn Redistricting Map Plan as drawn, being included in the proposed Bill 5525 for a number of reasons. One, the Woodlawn Map Plan as drawn for the West Side, it adheres to all the redistricting rules. It creates a second solid majority Black district in the section of the county that has the highest percentage of African American in the county at 75%. And the bill keeps the entire Woodlawn Lockern area together rather than splitting it into 3 districts, none of which are called Woodlawn. And lastly, it allows for self-determination in the Woodlawn-Lochern area of the county. The ability to elect local district level council members who will appoint 58 regular Woodlawn-Lochern residents to government oversight boards and commissions is necessary for that county. And we would like to strengthen our ties with the Lochern community. And I believe that this bill will help the church and other organizations in the community to do just that. And I urge its passing. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Brewington. We appreciate you being here tonight. Ms. Belcastro.
Our next registered speaker is Sherry DeCampo, who registered to be virtual. I'm assuming Ms. DeCampo is not in the audience. She is not online. I will go on to the next speaker.
She may have been here for the same
Yes.
property that.
Our next registered speaker was Gloria Cooper Blue, who was also on virtually, and I have been unable to locate her.
Ms. Cooper?
Yes, are you here in person?
She was trying to give her time to me. We did not realize it was not allowed procedurally.
Okay, so she left as well.
She's not going to come. And Sherry DeCampo is part of this group. I don't know whether she had family commitments or whether she's still on.
Okay. So our last speaker this evening is James Wood, and I do have a James on with no last name, so let's hope that this is Mr. Woods. Mr. Wood?
Mr. Woods?
Mr. Woods, are you there? Yeah, you were talking about for redistricting. Yes. That's okay.
Can't find her either, right? Okay. Mr. Woods, is Mr. Woods, did he,
I have him on. He's on.
saw James virtual?
It's just a first name, no last name. But he doesn't seem to be on. So that would conclude all of our speakers this evening that I've called that have registered.
All right, well, that was anticlimactic at the end with speakers disappearing.
My apologies.
All right, well, thank you, everyone. Be safe going home. It's a full moon week. That means trouble, so be careful. It's